Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Now, the game concludes Arsenal 3, Liverpool 2. And my natural response to the game, I think it was an absolute joke. We were robbed by crucial decisions from the referee. Um, and in my opinion, we didn't deserve to lose. But let's talk in more detail, right, whilst I analyze the game from the beginning. So before the game even started, it was interesting lineup from both teams. So Arsenal, they had Tomiyasu playing at left back, which for me was a tactical decision from Arteta to keep Salah quiet, which basically happened. As for me, he was non-existent in this game. Liverpool continue to play the new formation, which is the 2-4-2-3-1, which for me is music to my ears. It was the same lineup that started against Rangers midweek. But onto the game, it was an awful start for Liverpool. Caught in the middle of an attack. I think Salah and it was Diaz and Nunes. And then Diaz seemed to miscontrol the ball. And then you had Saka attacking from the right-hand side. Odegaard, who was fantastic in this game. There's a great through ball to Martinelli, who was unstoppable. And he clinically finishes in the bottom corner. So 1-0 up. I believe that was the first minute of the game. So not a great start at all for Liverpool. For me, after that, a couple of decisions went against Liverpool. So the first was the the Luis Diaz yellow card, which for me was the wrong decision. Martinelli clearly clips the back of his own leg and falls down. So for me, that was more of a tactical drop from him. But it wasn't a big factor in the game as Diaz was injured afterwards. So it didn't really have an impact in terms of his performance. But the second decision for me is the controversial one. It's Jota trying to clip the ball across in the box, and then you had Gabriel blocking the shot with his hand. Now, for me, clear handball and a definite penalty. That was not a natural position. A natural position is when you have it close to sort of your midriff, but this was like over here. So for me, that was not a natural position of the defender, and he purposely stuck in the air to block the cross. So clear penalty. I don't know what the referee was thinking. And then at that time, it was frustrating not to be given a penalty, but we finally got the equalizer. Lofted ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold towards Luis Diaz, who shifted to the right-hand side. He zipped in a great cross to Nunes, and Nunes finished with a sliding shot, which for me was a well-deserved goal for the player. I think Nunes was really good in the first half. And for Liverpool, I think they were on the constant attack, so fully deserved at that time. But Arsenal managed to get the lead just before the halftime whistle. They hit Liverpool on the counter-attack. It was pretty much 3-on-3. But Martinelli gets the best out of Henderson, passes the ball across to Saka, and he taps in the open goal. So a good move for Liverpool. I think at the time, it was harsh for Liverpool to end the first half on the losing side. As for me, it was quite an evenly contested game. Now, onto the second half. Arsenal started very strongly. Odegaard was very close to scoring Arsenal's third goal, which was saved by Alisson. But for Liverpool, which was a bright light at the time, came back with a response by the one and only Si Senor, Bobby Firmino. And what a great left-footed shot it was by the Brazilian. And he loves a goal against the Gunners. That's his 10th goal against Arsenal in his Liverpool career. So at that time, we're thinking we're getting some momentum, great equalizer. But I feel like we were losing key battles in the area. So Liverpool switched to a 4-3-3 formation, which is our normal formation. Fabinho and Konate were on the pitch, which for me at the time made sense to switch the formation and have both of these players come on. We were losing the battle in midfield. So introduction of Fabinho was the right call at the time. and Konate as well, where I felt like Arsenal were doing really well attacking behind the lines. So Konate would be able to cover Gomez as Martinelli was running everyone ragged on Arsenal's left hand side. So yeah, it wasn't a good look in that regards. Just got a comment here from Madison. Thank you for your comment. With the rule change and proximity of the ball and player, those handballs are not supposed given this season in England. Last year they would have been given. That's a fair point, Madison. These handball rules, I don't know why they keep changing it here and there. It's quite obvious for us in terms of football fans that this was a clear handball. Have these all these different stipulations of what a handball is. I feel like it's just confusing the game. And for fans and even the players on the pitch and the officials, it's confusing for everyone at times. So, yeah, disappointing to say the least regarding those decisions. But the referee for me is people regard him as one of the best. I don't think he's that great personally. I think even in the Manchester derby, he had a shocking performance as well. So, yeah, less spoken about the officials the better because I will be going into it in more detail. So the next part of the game, Arsenal awarded a penalty, which was for me another awful decision by is it Michael Oliver? His name? I don't even know. Jamie Oliver, whatever you call it, they're all useless. Never in a million years was that a penalty. Thiago for me clearly gets that ball. No contact on Jesus, in my opinion. So for me, that was a harsh decision. Obviously, nicely converted penalty by Saka. Elliot gets fouled by Tierney in the box. Now, I don't know if I've got my Liverpool shades on, but for me, that was a clear penalty. Tierney didn't even touch the ball, got the player, so no decision there. I don't know what to say regarding that. It would have been a soft one because it didn't really have an impact on the play, but I don't know if it's letter of the law now because the law keeps changing in this English football of ours. He didn't touch the ball. He got the player. So for me, it should have been a penalty. Simple as that. So in the end, Arsenal got the win. Narrowly, in my opinion, the referee was definitely on their side. They got the luck of the green. As for me, there wasn't much between the two teams. Liverpool were unlucky not to get a point, in my opinion. Poor decisions cost us the game. A draw would have been a fair result, but as we all know, in football, nothing ever happens in that manner. So, yeah, disappointing speaking as a Liverpool fan. I feel Arsenal played well, but I don't feel like they blew us away or in that sort of shape or form. I just feel like the decisions against us cost us in the game. We could have defended better, obviously. We conceded 3 goals, but they were all on counter attacks as well. And I think because of the new system we've deployed, players are still getting used to understanding how to move up in the pitch together. Because when those counter attacks happened, our midfielders, including Thiago, Henderson, were a bit all over the place. Tsimikas was too far ahead. So there's obviously still work to be done in this formation. But I've been saying for a long time, I want the 4-2-3-1 formation for Liverpool. It provides the right balance. It will be a work in progress, don't get me wrong. But I feel like going forward, it's the shape that we should be deploying a lot more. So yeah, as you can tell by my voice, very, very frustrated with the results. So before I conclude, I just wanted to do a quick match reaction for you guys today. I will give the player rating. So, and that's for Liverpool, not for Arsenal. So Alisson, I've given him a 7. I don't think he did anything wrong in the game in particular. Made a couple good saves. Unlucky with the penalty. He was close to it. And I think in general, I had good play. Wasn't really troubled by any crosses. Distribution was decent as well. So for me, a 7 is a solid score for him. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I have to give him a 6 out of 10. I don't think he was poor, but he wasn't great. There were a couple of situations where one-on-one he did all right against Martinelli, but there were times where he just couldn't keep up with him. Injured as well, so that never helped. So I think it was the right call to take him off at halftime. Matip for me was a 6. I don't think this was one of his strong games. He seemed to be out of position quite a bit and just couldn't handle the raw pace of Martinelli. So wasn't impressed with him today. Van Dijk 6 as well. Obviously, he's playing on the left-hand side of the centre-back pairing, but made some wayward ping passes as well. That's not normally like Van Dijk in terms of aerial challenges as well. Won most of them, but there were times where he let the ball bounce and he just created more chaos at the moment. So for me, Van Dijk is normally the person that gives the whole team a bit of composure, a bit of calmness. But he was quite erratic with his decisions with himself today. So not a great performance from him, despite having a good one midweek. Simicast for me was the best defender um, by a mile in this game for Liverpool. Made some good challenges, tried his best to uh, attack forward as well. I like the moment where he had like 3, 4 Arsenal players and he managed to skip around them. So good technical ability from him. And I think he definitely tried his best, which is what we want from our players. If they're not in the best of form, you want players showing a bit of aggression in their play, and he was definitely one of them today. So great performance from him. Midfield, I've given Henderson. I'll give him a 6.5. I don't normally do 0.5s, but I feel like sometimes you just got to do it. He didn't have the best of games. I think midweek he was a bit more influential in terms of his passing. Today, I don't think he had that calmness on the ball. There were times where he was outpaced by the opposition. So I know Arsenal have sort of the younger legs as well. So that was evident today as well, unfortunately. So yeah, average performance from Henderson. I was expecting a bit better from him. Thiago, I've given him 7. I think good distribution on the ball as always, and he made things happen with his good turns because there was times where Arsenal were pressing very, very aggressively in the first half, and especially our defense, they were just shaky. They just couldn't really handle the pressing from the Arsenal players, and they were erratic with their passing, making poor decisions or kicking it back to the opposition. So Thiago, for me, I never have a concern with him. Has great flair, great ability about him. Always has a nice turn where he can just escape from players. And I think he had a good performance. Just shame about the others, to be fair. Jota, for me, I've given him a 6. I feel like I probably ranked him a bit harshly in the last game against Rangers, just because I feel like he wasn't involved as much. But unfortunately, that was the same way I saw him in this game as well. In the first half, for me, he was pretty much ghost. I didn't really see him on the ball much. Wasn't effective as well. I saw him come to life a bit more playing on that left-hand side. Now, everyone has an opinion about Jota in terms of what's his best position for Liverpool. For me, I prefer him on the left or centrally as a number 9. This number 10 role, for me, it doesn't suit him. He doesn't have that ability to link up play. He's more of a gunman where he gets the ball and he scores goals. So for me, if we're going to deploy this 4-2-3-1 formation, we need to have a natural number 10 playing. We've got quite a few in the squad. So we've got Firmino that can play that role. You've got Harvey Elliott. You've got Carvalho. So these are options going forward we should be considering. Not sure about Diaz's injury. So if that's a long-term injury, who knows? Jota will be deployed on that left-hand side more, which is, for me, better suited in terms of his skill set. So I'm giving him a 6 out of 10 there. Salah was, excuse my language, piss poor today. I'd give him a 4. I don't even give him yeah. Maybe I'm being nice with that 4. I think he was non-existent, didn't do anything. He had that one moment where he came from the right-hand side, had a shot. It was a tame effort. But I don't know what's happened to him. I know, just to kind of be on his side a little bit, he's been asked to play a lot wider than normal. And I don't know why he's been asked to play in that manner, because he was the best at what he did on that right-hand side where he was more of an inside forward. Playing as an out-and-out winger, he seems to have lost a bit of confidence. he doesn't like to take on the fullback one-on-one. I think he doesn't feel like he has the pace, or maybe he's tired as well. I don't know. He just seemed off pace today. So very, very disappointing performance from him. So I have to give a 4. Nunes for me was probably one of the better players today. So I'll give him a 7.5. First half, he was very, very impressive. Actually, yeah, not even a 7.5. I think I'll give him a 7 just to kind of think how he performed in the second half. Second half for me was very quiet, but the first half, he was quite lively. He made good decisions with his link up play, attacked the channel really well, had a couple of shots on target. So showing his confidence a bit more. So better account of himself. Still a lot of work, don't get me wrong. But I think in terms of the attackers, I think he was the best attacker in the Liverpool team today. Diaz for me a 6. Has some good touches on the ball, but sometimes he's just very predictable in his play. And I feel like there's times where he should be making better runs. So there's times where him and Simicas on the left-hand side, and he doesn't know how to interchange with him, which is a bit of a downside. I feel like they've played a few games now. They should probably understand each other's games, but it just seems to have he seems to slow the play down when he's got Simicas overlapping, passes to him, and then he pretty much leaves Simicas making that predictable pass, or he just cuts it back to him. So you lose that impetus when you're attacking. So yeah. So for me, he gets a 6 out of 10. Hopefully, the injury that he suffered is a small niggle, nothing more than that. But at this stage, I don't think anything's been spoken about. So we'll see how it goes for him. In terms of the substitute, I'm giving Firmino a 7.5. I think he deserved that rank. He was definitely, alongside Nunes, the best attacker for Liverpool in this game. I think he was very, very good in terms of his link-up play, made things happen, and his finish was beautifully executed. When he got the ball to his left-hand side, I was so confident that he'll score. He's in great rich vein of form. I believe that's his 6th goal in the Premier League now. So a lot of people are writing him off. There's rumors circulating today that he may not be offered a new contract. People upstairs, they need to revisit that. For me, he's not the finished product. He's still got a lot to offer. So he's doing a lot better than any of our attackers in this team. So hopefully they can change their mind regarding his future. Gomez, I'll give him I'll give a 7 out of 10. I think he definitely helped us defensively. Couple of moments where I think it was a bit erratic, where he gave a couple of fouls away, but definitely put pressure on Martinelli. Martinelli wasn't playing as fluent as he was previously, so a much, much better performance from him. Fabinho, I'll give him a 6. I don't think he had much of an impact coming off from the bench. Made a couple decent passes here and there, but he just doesn't seem to be himself, unfortunately. He's definitely off form. And for me, because of this new formation, he doesn't deserve to start. So at the minute, he probably is more of a bench player going forward in the short term, in my opinion. Konate, great to see him back on the pitch. I'll give him a 6. He didn't have much of an impact. But I feel like going forward, having him and Van Dijk as a pairing will definitely help, especially against quick wingers that, i.e., like a Martinelli, and will be able to handle those players. And he can cover Trent or Gomez, whoever plays on that right-hand side of defense, a bit better, as his pace will be a vital asset in that regard. So I've given him a 6 out of 10. And for Elliot, I'll give him a 6 as well. Didn't have much of an impact when he came on. Really started playing on the left, which I was a bit confused about. He doesn't normally play there. But as the game went on, got involved with 1 or 2 moves. I feel like he should be given a penalty. If you're a Liverpool fan, let me know. Am I thinking with Liverpool shades on? I'm not sure. I feel like he was fouled. He should have been given a penalty there. May have been soft, but contact was made. There's no touch on the ball. So going forward, I hope Elliot gets a chance to play a bit more centrally, like a number 10, and Carvalho as well when he's back to his normal self after coming back from a injury. So yeah, that's my player ratings there. I'll just go through some of the comments here. Ravi says, "Yo, big up." Um, any second comment? I think Trent shouldn't have started and didn't deserve a start lately. Um, I get it, but for me, I feel like he did such a great performance against Rangers. It was only right to start him in this game. Now, even his injury, I don't even know if it's a long-term injury, but a rest would probably be needed. But I feel like because games are coming thick and fast, I think Klopp's trying to get him to play as many games before the World Cup, and then let's see if he makes the squad. So he might even end up having a holiday, which will actually benefit him more than anyone else. So no, I think he performed fantastic at Rangers. So I feel like his starting position was deserved. Your third comment, while gone with Salah being so quiet, you tell me. um, I'm not liking the tactics that have been deployed in terms of him playing out wide. He's not that type of player anymore. He's an inside forward. So I'm afraid it's instructions that has been given to him, and I feel like he's lacking confidence because he's not really outpacing anyone, and he's not getting to goal scoring chances, which is a concern for me at this stage because even Saka, you saw today, got into a few positions where he was about to score. Salah didn't trouble the goalkeeper apart from maybe once today, and that was because it was a bit of his own making rather than a team move. So no, very, very disappointed his performance. Feel like he needs a bit of a rest, but we don't have players to cover him, unfortunately. That was what I was saying in the summer. We need another forward, a right-sided forward to cover for Salah or to rotate with him because we don't. None of the attackers that we have can play that right side. You've got Elliot, who's probably the only one, but maybe he doesn't have the pace to play in that position. I think he should be utilized there a bit more this season, in my opinion. You know, we had Shaqiri, who wasn't exactly a speed merchant himself. So Elliot should be deployed there, give Salah a little bit of a break. But games are coming thick and fast, and next week it's not going to get any easier. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Madison with another comment here. Diaz coming off early definitely benefit Arsenal. I think it did because he was the one causing trouble on your right hand side and making Ben White think in terms of what he needs to do. Because second half, when Diaz wasn't playing, Ben White had more freedom going on that side. So yeah, it definitely benefited the Arsenal team there. But yeah, that's a wrap up from me, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. All your support is much appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll be doing the match week 10 review of all the big games. I'm trying to do a recap, but a small snippet of this game plus the other games as well. I believe Everton play Manchester United, so that will be a game that I analyze for tomorrow's show as well. So yes, thank you again, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very soon. Good night.